Overlord Season 4 Episode 8, An Unexpected Move. This has got to be one of the cleanest, well-executed episodes in the entire Overlord series, and may even be one of the best executed episodes this anime season. The episode starts with Prince Zanak and the Princess in Blue, Princess Renner, having political talks on the current situation of their kingdom and Ainz Ul Gons. Three main points are brought up in this discussion. 1. When is Prince Zanak gonna take the throne so that Princess Renner can take the land that he promised to her? 2. Would it be possible for their kingdom to become a vassal state like the Empire did? Seeing as how Ainz and the Sorcerer Kingdom have been diplomatically cooperative with everyone they have good relations with. An example being the Theocracy, who now works with them and have been receiving good food and crops as support from the Sorcerer Kingdom. And 3. The underlying tone of this meeting, which is Princess Renner basically knowing all the plans Prince Zanak has in his head. Light spoiler here, Princess Renner is actually one of the smartest characters in all of the Overlord series. And this scene serves as the main point of our story, showing us this character trait of hers. You can see that by how she knows all the plans that Prince Zanak is considering in his head, which is becoming a vassal state, and also thinking if only he had his advisor Marquis Raven with him in that moment. She pretty much calls him out on it on the spot as he was thinking it. Now moving forward to the next scene after the opening credits, we catch up to Baron Montserrat, the noble Albedo and Lord Ainz has been manipulating this season. He is currently drinking away his woes. His plans of creating more crops in order to gain more money is currently not going as planned. He simply cannot see that he doesn't understand agriculture enough and his own people does not have enough manpower to achieve his goals. But being the selfish person that he is, all he sees is just incompetent people not following his orders. 2 other lords approach him in this bar and discuss with him his current woes. And in their banter, they inform him that Ainz's kingdom is also producing crops, but at a much larger rate than he is, thereby creating competition for him. A competition he clearly cannot win in. And the overall tone of these new lords introduced to us seems to implicate that someone sent them there in order to manipulate the Baron with this information. And of course, Baron Montserrat, being the idiot that he is, he completely falls for it and creates a plan that endangers the kingdom, himself, and everyone involved with him. Cut forward to the next scene, we see Albedo doing administrative work inside the tomb of Ainz Ul Gon. She notes that although they can handle the current political work they have, they will need more manpower in the future. Then, Albedo notices that one of the reports indicate that Baron Montserrat has stolen from the Sorcerer Kingdom, specifically the food and crops that were being sent to the Theocracy as support. Because of this grave transgression against the Sorcerer Kingdom, she calls on an emergency meeting with all the floor guardians and Ainz himself. Now, moving forward to my second favorite scene of this entire episode, we now have everyone in the throne room to discuss what to do against this major transgression by Baron Montserrat. Ainz allows everyone to raise their heads and state their own opinions as to how to deal with this crime. Now, typical of the floor guardians, with most of them having negative karma points, they unanimously agree to execute everyone that was involved in this crime, including Baron Montserrat. Now, to explain, Ainz and Albedo had a plan called the Carrot and Stick. They wanted to gather all the remaining nobles of the kingdom and made sure that whoever was loyal to him gets rewarded and those that went against him got punished, hence the plan's name being Carrot and Stick. Now, the goal of this plan was to incite a civil war within the kingdom, aka the nobles going against themselves, with their main pawn, Baron Montserrat, being the linchpin of this plan. Albedo, as well as Demiurgus, did not expect, however, that Baron Montserrat would be so stupid as to instead go against the Sorcerer Kingdom, which, may I remind you, has the military power to basically destroy the world if they wanted to. Now, because the plan failed to proceed accordingly, Albedo feels that she has failed Ainz, which is a big no-no to any NPC, let alone a floor guardian within the Tomb of Nazarick. Now, one of the people Albedo blames for the failure of this plan is Hilma Signes, the lady slash crime lord that was supposed to watch over Baron Montserrat and make sure that he does as according to their carrot and stick plan. But even her experience wasn't enough to foresee the sheer stupidity Baron Montserrat would be up to. Then Ainz uses his magic to confirm if whether or not Hilma is hostile towards his kingdom and whether or not if she's telling the truth. Ainz deems her innocent. Albedo, however, speaks up and states that superiors should be responsible for the failures of their subordinates. Ainz, however, wisely rebuts and says that the line superiors being responsible for the failures of their subordinates should be a line used for superiors to protect their subordinates, and not as a way for superiors to put the blame on their subordinates instead, which is just such an awesome and wise line that even I did not expect from Ainz. Now, Hilma, all throughout, was fearing that she was gonna be roached as punishment for her failure to watch over Baron Montserrat. But because Ainz stepped in and shared his wisdom, her punishment instead is to go back and create countermeasures against Baron Montserrat and submit them to Albedo. Now, because of all of this, Hilma now goes home with a great reverence for Ainz and his kindness. She relates this experience to her colleagues, the other nobles slash crime lords, and they tell her that she is just being given the carrot and the stick treatment, which is not an uncommon strategy done by leaders. But because she was roached so hard and now was given this incredible wisdom in front of her, she now has great understanding of how sweet the carrot can be. And now her fellow nobles understand that Ainz can be quite the reasonable sorcerer king. Now back at the throne room, Albedo explains the carrot and stick plan to the other guardians of the floor, and they continue to discuss what to do with Baron Montserrat, thinking that the carrot and stick plan had failed. Ainz also thinks the plan has failed. He simply turns to Demiurgus and asks him, yes, Demiurgus thinks that all of this was just an insanely smart ploy by Ainz, and that the carrot and stick plan was never about the mid-level nobles inside the kingdom. It was actually an intercontinental plan, with Ainz giving the carrot to the Baharuth Empire, who pledged their loyalty by becoming a vassal state, and the stick being given to the kingdom, who, through Ainz's supposed manipulation and Giga-Chad thinking, was manipulated into going against the Sorcerer Kingdom by stealing, thereby showing on an intercontinental scale how the Sorcerer Kingdom is incredibly diplomatic and will, at no expenses spared, protect its allies and its interests accordingly. Ainz, of course, did not plan any of this and was just failing forward. But of course, Ainz goes along with it because he doesn't want to disappoint everyone, and he loves them. And it is an incredibly brilliant plan if you look at it that way. Brilliant conclusion to my second favorite scene. Now on to the final scenes. The kingdom with its king Ramposa III and Prince Zanak discuss what they are going to do with this whole predicament with Baron Montserrat stealing and going against the Sorcerer Kingdom. They have the official letter from the Sorcerer Kingdom indicating how they are ready to go to war with them for this kind of transgression. The letter comes with the approved seals of the allies of the Sorcerer Kingdom, being the Dwarven State, Dragon Kingdom, the Baharuth Empire, the Theocracy, and the Faceless, which is a new group, I believe, which they say is as powerful as the Theocracy. So I'm looking forward to seeing these characters in play. Now the kingdom basically have two options: become a vassal state and hope for mercy, or offer up Baron Montserrat's head and hope for mercy. Now King Ramposa, being incredibly kind, is surprised by the offer given by his son Prince Zanak to offer Baron Montserrat's head, as the king believes wholeheartedly that offering someone innocent is an unjust thing to do, even if it is the politically and tactically correct option. But he declines both options and says he knows what to do, much to the surprise of everyone in his council. A servant knocks furiously on the door and announces that Albedo, the Prime Minister of the Sorcerer Kingdom, has arrived. Now on to the final scene. The nobles and the royal family graciously accept Albedo in their throne room. Albedo announces that she is there in regards to the matter with Baron Montserrat and the stealing from the Sorcerer Kingdom. The king stands up and first offers his sincerest apologies and bows, much to the surprise of all the nobles in the room. And second, surprising even Albedo herself, offers his own head as payment for the crime. What an incredible episode! All the points that were brought up, all the way from the intro until the end, was addressed cleanly and efficiently. From the foreshadowing of when the prince would become the king, to dealing with Hilma and Baron Montserrat, to that unexpected wisdom from Ainz, teaching Albedo about superiors and their subordinates, and finally, a clear and direct example of that lesson from none other than the king of the Re-Estis kingdom itself. It is just too good, man. Even the title, An Unexpected Move, perfectly foreshadows everything that happened in the episode. From Baron's stupid move to Ain's unexpected wisdom, and finally to the Re-Estis king himself. A perfect 10 out of 10 episode. I am dying to see what happens next. And if you made it here and you haven't caught up to Overlord Season 4, I can wholeheartedly recommend that you catch up on it now. So, thank you for stopping by and listening to my review. I hope you have a great day ahead, and I'll see you all on the next one.